It was so heartwarming, just the fact that everyone came out and really squeezed into that, cozy corner.
Eala's magical moment. The moment she has dreamt of.
He's playing again tomorrow night, the second match. So everybody come on out and support her.
Cincinnati Open organizers have a problem, and it is one they created themselves. 5 days after Alexandra Ella became the first Filipina in history to win a WTA singles title, dismantling IGA Swiatek, running through Naomi Osaka, and finishing world number 4 Jessica Pegula with a third set bagel, it's Ella's magical moment, the moment she has dreamt of. The tournament's leaked order of play reportedly slots her onto a court that would not have held half the fans she just sold in Toronto. The marketing department named her in the same breath as Sabalenka, Alcaraz, and Swiatek. The scheduling department, if reports are accurate, did not read the memo. And by the time you finish this video, you'll understand exactly why one word is trending across Filipino tennis Twitter tonight: regret. If you want to be on record before the US Open seedings react to whatever happens in Ohio, subscribe and put your Cincinnati bracket in the comments. Rewind 72 hours. Rain had shoved the Mubadala City DC Open final into a Monday, and Ella walked off the court in Washington a champion, 4-6, 6-4, 6-0 over Pegula, closing the world number 4 out with a bagel that nobody in the building saw coming. She had exactly 1 day between lifting a trophy and boarding a flight to Toronto. She landed exhausted. Her career-high ranking of number 20 was fresh. Her name was on every ticker in the sport, and the National Bank Open had already sold her Wednesday night session out. That is when the tournament directors of World Tennis learned a lesson Cincinnati is reportedly about to learn the hard way. And she's playing again tomorrow night, the second match. So everybody come on out and support her. Toronto had originally slotted Ella on their grandstand court, 2,800 seats, a reasonable assumption for a player who, on paper, was ranked outside the top 15. Then the tickets started moving and moving and moving. By Tuesday morning, tournament director Carl Hale had a problem no scheduling algorithm anticipated, a number 20 seed pulling number 1 crowds. He moved her to center court within 24 hours. Cincinnati, watching all of this unfold in real time, still reportedly assigned her to a secondary show court for her opener, a tournament that publicly named her a headliner, treating her like the anonymous qualifier who withdrew from their event last year with a shoulder injury. This is not oversight. This is a scheduling committee reading yesterday's newspaper. Let the receipts speak, because they are stacked. Monday, August 3rd, DC Open Final, takes Pegula 4-6, 6-4, 6-0. That final score line is not a fluke. It is the world number for losing 6 straight games to close out a WTA title match. On the road to that trophy, she also beat Jing Qinwen, Leylah Fernandez, Alina Svitolina, Naomi Osaka, and third seed IGA Swiatek in a first-set tiebreak that ran to 11-9. 5 top-tier scalps in 1 week. That is not a Cinderella run. That is a coronation. Then came the commercial proof. DC Open chairman Mark Ein described the ticket demand for Ella's Washington debut as unprecedented, his word on the record. 2 days later, the same pattern erupted in Canada. Carl Hale confirmed to Tennis Channel that Ella had outsold his second-largest venue by more than 2,000 tickets before her first ball was struck, and the Wednesday night session she headlined was, according to reports, the first Wednesday night sellout the Canadian Open has recorded in roughly 2 decades. The last player to do it was Serena Williams. Read that sentence again. A 21-year-old from the Philippines is being compared, on ticket sales, to prime Serena. For the Filipino fans who have been saying this for 2 years, the ones who flew to Miami, filled the DC stands, and turned Toronto's night session into a home game, the world is not catching up to Ella. The world is catching up to what you already knew. Your instincts were the market signal. The tournaments are just now reading the tape, which is what makes Cincinnati's reported decisions so difficult to explain. This is the same tournament whose own press release called her a Philippine trailblazer, with ardent, raucous fans in the stands. They marketed her as a superstar in writing. And if the leaked order of play holds, they are about to schedule her like a wild card entrant. Now consider what Cincinnati has been dealing with. Federer publicly criticized their court speeds this season. Tournament president Bob Moran had to issue a rebuttal. Their court renovation has already been called out by tennis media for not solving the tournament's underlying problems. Their 2025 edition lost several top players, including Eala herself, to withdrawals. This is a tournament with a documented pattern of unforced errors, and the reported court assignment for the biggest new draw in women's tennis fits that pattern with terrifying precision. Monday, WTA champion. Wednesday, Serena tier sellout. The following Monday, reportedly assigned to a side court. The compression alone is the story. If you want to know what a tournament director sounds like when Eala changes his mind, you do not have to speculate. You can listen to one. Carl Hale has run the Canadian Open for more than 20 years. He is the decision-maker on one of the WTA Tour's flagship 1,000 level events. He does not have to explain his scheduling choices to the press, and he certainly does not have to reverse them publicly. This week he did both. On Tennis Channel, on the record, he confirmed that his 2,800-seat grandstand could not physically hold the crowd Eala had already sold, a number that had climbed past 5,000 tickets before her opening match. So he moved her up. That is not a compliment. That is a confession. A rival tournament director publicly admitted his arena was too small for a player Cincinnati is reportedly about to bury on an outer court. This is where the story stops being about one court and starts being about an entire sport recalibrating. The WTA has never had to build infrastructure around a genuine Southeast Asian superstar. It has now. Every tournament between here and the Australian Open in January is going to face the same question Cincinnati is facing this week. Do you schedule Alex Eala by her ranking of number 20 or by her ticket sales, which are pulling Serena Williams comparisons in Canada? Get that wrong, and you become the next case study. The US Open main draw begins August 24th. Flushing Meadows will be the largest stress test of Eala's commercial gravity yet, and how Cincinnati handles this week directly shapes the US Open's court assignments in New York. Then comes Wuhan, then Beijing, then the year-end swing. Every scheduling committee on tour is watching what Cincinnati does next. If Bob Moran's team fixes this before Wednesday, it becomes a template. If they do not, it becomes a warning shot. The Philippines has never produced a WTA 1000 finalist. If Eala runs deep in Cincinnati from a reportedly buried court assignment, it does not just become her origin story. It becomes the origin story of Filipino tennis for the next decade. 7 months ago, at the 2026 Australian Open, Alex walked onto her first Grand Slam main draw match, won the opening set 6-0 against Alicia Parks, and then lost the next two under a barrage of 12 Parks aces, 0-6, 6-3, 6-2. Her slam debut ended in a locker room, not a press conference. Tuesday in Toronto, standing in front of reporters as the freshly crowned first Filipina WTA champion, she said this: "It's been a crazy 24 hours. My mind's just been going back and forth between focusing on the next match and, wow, did I really just do that? No script, no polish, just a 21-year-old still processing the fact that she went from being outclassed in Melbourne in January to bageling the world number 4 in Washington in August. 7 months. That is the timeline. Cincinnati did not schedule Alex Eala. They scheduled the version of her who withdrew from their tournament last year with a shoulder injury. They scheduled a player whose ranking has not caught up to her demand curve. They scheduled a name they marketed as a trailblazer and then reportedly treated as a footnote. 2,800 seats versus 5,000 tickets. A Wednesday night that only Serena Williams has previously delivered. A world number 4 bageled on a Monday afternoon. And now a side court assignment that a rival tournament director has already publicly shown them how to fix. The tournament that skipped the memo is about to learn what everyone saying her name in 3 languages has known for a year. The rankings are a lagging indicator. Alex Eala is not. Here is your challenge. Drop your prediction in the comments right now. If Cincinnati moves her to center court before her second round, is it vindication or damage control? And if they do not move her at all, name the round she wins on that side court before they are forced to make the change. Timestamp it. Come back next week and see who called it. If you want to be on record before the order of play drops, before Bob Moran's team makes their choice, and before the US Open seedings react to whatever happens in Ohio, this is the channel where those predictions live. subscribe, and put your Cincinnati bracket in the comments. The fans who called Toronto correctly are already down there.